Hey, what's up you guys? It's Six. Welcome back to my channel. It's been a while. So first things first, I'm so sorry about the lighting in this video. There were so many things that I did not anticipate. Before filming, the Scratchboard for one was shiny. I did not know that obviously because there's a matte black coating on it, so there's really no way to know what's under the rainbow or what's under the black. Obviously it's rainbow, but didn't know it was gonna be that shiny. There was also a glare from a spot that I will explain later on in the video that did not show up in real life, but did show up once I turned on the camera, so that was unfortunate. And it was storming all day with no chance of stopping. In fact, it's still storming the next day, and it will tomorrow. So it was super dark all day, and obviously there was no other time I would have been able to film it. So I am so sorry about that. I'm trying my best to edit it in post. Hopefully it is still watchable. Also, I'm sure you guys noticed it's been a while since I've uploaded to this channel, and that was definitely unintentional. At the end of June I got super sick, on and off, just repeatedly. I mean, anytime I thought I was getting better, I got sick in a different way. So that was fun. Not really. And I also had to take on a ton of extra commission work to help pay for some super whack stuff that happened earlier in the month. But on the bright side, I'm doing a lot better now, so hopefully this month things will be able to go back to being regular and consistent, and hopefully I'll be able to keep up with that. Anyway, getting into today's video. A long time ago, I bought these Scratchboards at Target. And in this little Scratchboard kit, you get a ton of stencils, lots of pre-made designs, and a few blank boards as well. So to familiarize myself with the tools, I chose to work with this mushroom one off camera because of course I did, to kind of get a feel for things, and it was so fun. Everything turned out super cute. The only thing that I regret doing about this particular one is doing the entirety of it first. It's definitely a big one with a lot of detail, and it left a huge mess on my desk. Like, I'm talking, my desk is very lightly permanently stained now from all the little black shavings. I'm not sure if it's like paint or what this material is made out of, but it makes a mess. So make sure that you're doing this on a surface that you don't mind throwing away or getting dirty in some way. So in doing so, I learned that I really only like the finer end of the tool that they give you. The wider end obviously is meant for larger areas, and it's all right. It gets the job done, but it's also much harder to control because it has like those two sharp edges, and sometimes it doesn't pick up on the whole flat edge. It just wants to do the little side pieces, and sometimes when you do get it to use, you know, the whole larger area, it tends to leave more jagged edges than I would have liked in my piece, so I didn't really use it as much. In fact, I'm not even sure if I used it at all in my piece, other than maybe on the side of the head. Anyway, speaking of my piece, let's get into it, shall we? I mentioned recently on my Patreon podcast that I have been itching to do some more traditional work, which, by the way, one more thing, if you want to get in on the hot goss and listen to my podcast and get fun funky stuff like monthly mailed goodies, commission and shop discounts, and more, go check out my Patreon. It's patreon.com/six.studios. It starts at literally just $1 a month. $1 a month, and you get secret stuff that nobody else gets. Hello, what are you doing? Go over there. Actually, no, stay here, finish this video, and then go over there, unless you're watching this video from there, in which case, hi, thanks for joining the Patreon. Anyways, I mentioned there that I wanted to do some more traditional art, but that I haven't been able to find any of my sketchbooks, and I'm not about to go and spend $17 on a sketchbook when I know I have some here somewhere. But while I was kind of like ruminating on that idea, wishing that I could do more traditional work, suddenly, a few days ago, I remembered that I bought these, like a long time ago. So of course I wanted to give them a shot. I knew immediately that I wanted to do something TV head themed because I've been thinking about object heads for a couple of months now, but haven't gotten the chance to actually make anything with one. And I thought that the black and rainbow aesthetic would really suit the kind of like digital electronic sort of vibe. The design actually also came to me pretty quickly once I had the initial vibe in mind. I guess it wasn't even necessarily a concept. I was just like, I want to do a TV head. bam, it's done. And I wanted it to kind of look like, not like a glitch necessarily, but like a color bar error screen. If you were a 90s, 2000s kid, you might remember like broadcast interruptions, you know, you get the color bar screen coming up. I really wanted it to be something like that, and kind of embrace, again, the sort of just like digital analog aspect. I also was trying my best to work with this medium rather than against it, which is something that I very often do because I really want materials that I work with to work exactly the same as digital or marker, even if it's not digital or marker. And then I have a lot of trouble and then I don't pick it up again. For example, if I had done a normal portrait like I would have wanted to, if I was working with one of those mediums, and just gone for some simple line art and cell shading, I don't think it would have looked as good as the piece that I ended up making, at least not with my current skill set when it comes to working with this kind of material. I feel like a lot of the details would have ended up getting lost, or that I'd have been too overly precious with it and just ended up not liking the finished piece, because Scratchboard is somewhat hard to control and it is nothing like those two materials. You can't really get into any sort of gradient or shading unless you work with your hatching just right, and the lines in general can just be hard to control. You really have to make broad, confident strokes because you can't sketch in the same way that you would with pencil. Also, speaking of sketching, I actually did a digital sketch for my design before recreating it on this Scratchboard with pencil. But one thing that I did that I would not recommend, like I said, is sketching on the board unless you work really lightly. I worked with a white blunt Crayola color pencil, and as I started sketching on the sheet, I started out really light, very light-handed, and that was working. But once I got to the torso area where the shapes I planned were more specific, I started having trouble with it and ended up trying to see you know, if I was able to erase, because I was starting to get a little more heavy-handed and obviously making a lot more visible tiny lines that I did not want to be there. And on the one hand, I was able to erase it, but on the other hand, that is what left that huge glare that you guys see in the middle, which made it super hard to film and photograph. So if you want to prevent that, I'd recommend just trying to be loose with it and not too particular. Either sketch, again, very incredibly lightly, like a whisper on the page, a whisper. Or just go straight into it with no sketch at all. It is very intimidating, but I would recommend it because I also ended up scratching the side of it too as I was going in with some of these smiley faces, and I didn't think that I was being particularly heavy-handed at all. I think I just worn down part of the lead. Is it still lead in a colored pencil? I think it's still lead. The graphite, the body of the pencil, I think it developed a little bit of a pointy edge, and it scratched the surface of it. So if you want to prevent any accidental scratching or, you know, big glare spots in your piece, just try to be brave and go straight into it. Speaking of going straight into it, how many times am I going to use speaking of as a transition? I need to learn how to talk good better. Anyway, once I was able to actually start on the piece itself, it was actually really fun. Seeing how the colors were revealed and how they flowed into each other underneath was really relaxing. It also was fun because I actually did my practice, as I mentioned, on one of the larger boards. They give you 4 larger ones and then I think 2 smaller ones. And you guys know if I see a tiny canvas, I'm gonna work on it because working big scares me. And the colors actually shift way quicker in the smaller ones than they do on the larger ones, so there was a lot more color variety than with the practice one that I did. So seeing just how like rainbow it ended up being was like, oh my gosh, yes, that's what I was imagining, because I remember doing the practice one and being like, this whole mushroom is red, why isn't it rainbow? I'm really sad. Only the big ones had any sort of color shift, and even then it would just shift from red to like orange or from blue to purple. I want a whole rainbow. I want the whole thing. Hello. And so doing that in the smaller scale was really nice. It also made for some great ASMR, which I will insert a clip of here. And a fun but actually not so fun fact about this clip. When I initially planned to film it after finishing the actual artwork for this video, I wanted to go back in and film this little ASMR clip for y'all so you could hear the sound of the tool scratching against the board. And I swear to God, a ghost spoke to me. Everyone in my house, so 2 of the people off to work, that means 3 of us in the house. 2 of those 3 people are in the kitchen. Everyone had left the room except for myself to make zucchini muffins, which is entirely random, I know, but it's breakfast time and we wanted muffins. So they all leave and I say, I'm gonna go back to my room to film this clip really quick. And when I tell you, everything in my room is off. Everything. I had just turned off my fan, I turned off the TV, I turned off my husband's switch, I turned off everything. Everything is off so that things are completely silent for me to film this clip with no annoying background noise. And then all of a sudden, as soon as I'm about to sit down and clip you guys into my little filming stand, I hear my husband's voice very clearly. I'm yelling because I'm scared. It was so clear and so loud and so just crystal crisp. Right behind my ear, he goes, shh. And now I think he's messing with me, right? I think he's sweetly trying to like tease me for, you know, wanting to make sure that everything's super quiet and film this quirky little clip, thinking he came in here to tell me that he can't find something for the muffins, needs me to find the flour or something. I turn around, ready to tease him for not being able to find stuff, and he's not there. He's not there, and the door is shut tight, exactly where I left it. There wasn't a moment where like I turned around and the door shut behind me. No, it never opened. It never opened. And everything's off. So there's either half the house is gone and not home. Everything in my room is off. And the other 2 people that are home are halfway across the house. So what is that? What could have made that noise? I'm scared. I hate it. I ran out of that room. I ripped that door open so fast that I bruised my thumb trying to leave. Like, I smashed my thumb in the door. So what the hell was that about? I hate it. Anyway, hope you liked the ASMR. Anyway, aside from the whole haunting thing, finishing this piece was relatively easy. It wasn't hard, for me to pull off the right movements to get the lines I wanted, which is interesting because I normally struggle with lines and line work, and Scratchboards are essentially all line work. No sketch, no color, well, there's color, but you know, no coloring, which can be pretty intimidating, but this ended up being so fun. Maybe it's the way that the black surfaces catch against like the wood to kind of like, you know, make some traction, make it easier to control than pen against paper. I don't know, but I really liked it. I might make another one here very soon. I know that I will definitely go back to those pre-stenciled ones anytime I want to have some wind down time. It also was one of those kind of go with the flow kind of pieces. I didn't start out having the background elements at all. Initially, it was just going to be the figure itself, but the more that I worked on it more, the more I was like, you know what would look really good? Some smiley faces, maybe some lightning bolts, some scribbles, just like really like getting into it. It was almost representative of, I guess, my experience with art block in the last year or 2. It wasn't intended to be like, I don't want to say vent art because that's definitely not what it was, but it was just like channeling something in my brain, but like in a positive way. I don't know. It was like just a really doodly fun way to kind of express myself. And sometimes it's just nice to keep things loose and simple. But anyways, what do you guys think? Think you'll be picking up a Scratchboard at any time soon?
Hey, it's me. You're subconscious. Do it. Buy them. It was like $5 at Target. Just do it. It's only $5.
That was weird. Anybody else hear that? It's like that ghost all over again. Anyway, I think I'll end up doing these again when I need some wind down time. Like I said, I think the one that I really want to do, there's one with like roller skates. I've been wanting roller skates for so long, but they're so expensive, so I can't justify buying them right now. So I guess I'll just have to live vicariously through these rainbow roller skates. Anyway, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Also, before we get out of here, I of course want to give a huge shout out to my patrons: Elise Thompson, Duran, Mandy, Sleeps, Created by Twins, Inky Moo Art, Psych Walker Art, Lucian, Fish Nor Flesh, Becky Scribbles, Akita Kai, and Watery Turd. Patrons get special shout outs at the end of videos like these, but that's not the only thing they get. If you guys want to gain early access to my videos, listen to exclusive podcasts, get permanent commission and shop discounts, monthly merch mail, and more, check out the Patreon. Again, that's patreon.com/six.studios. I just posted a ton of stuff over there, y'all, so you will have a lot of content to see. There's also a vote up for July's merch theme that's currently a 3-way tie, so come be a tiebreaker. Come help me get that figured out. Anyways, sorry this video was so chaotic. It has been a while. Things have been, but I miss you guys. I can't wait to get back into regular uploading. I actually have everything scheduled, so I don't have to come up with the chaos of like, what am I gonna film? It's already ready. I just have to make the art and film it. So hopefully every single week you guys will have a video this month. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.